Alpha Kappa Psi fraternity focuses on developing principled business leaders through promoting fellowship, experiential learning, and the tenets of servant leadership. The foundation of our fraternity is our unifying standards, or the Code of Conduct, which transcends geography, classes of membership, or longevity in the organization. The Code of Conduct does not outline every possible fraternity standard or improper conduct activity, but it exists to unite members and declare that we will abide by fraternity expectations to do what is best for our members' dignity, health, safety, and well-being. Alpha Kappa Psi expects all members to adhere to the Code of Conduct and enforce these standards, as well as take on a leadership role when it comes to protecting others, treating all people with respect, and holding the history and future of Alpha Kappa Psi in the highest regard. Each chapter and member of the fraternity should take on personal responsibility and accountability for upholding these standards of conduct to preserve the organization's past, present, and future. To break down the conduct policy, there are specific things various groups of individuals are expected to do, starting with all members. All members of Alpha Kappa Psi are expected to refrain from engaging in conduct or activity that could call the fraternity's integrity, honor, or reputation into question or otherwise cause embarrassment to the fraternity. All members should conduct their activities fairly and impartially. If you are an officer or volunteer, you're expected to perform your duties in a manner which puts the fraternity's interests and ideals above your own. All members are expected to conduct themselves in full compliance with all applicable laws, university requirements, fraternity policies, and governing documents, and directives from fraternity leaders. All members should pay outstanding bills and invoices and care for all property and facilities rented, leased, or borrowed for fraternity activities. All members should refrain from abusing or interfering with fraternity's conduct and discipline process, and should exercise fiduciary care and responsibility for all fraternity funds and assets. The next group of individuals are alumni members. Alumni members of Alpha Kappa Psi are welcomed and encouraged to participate in local chapter and fraternity events. Alumni members are further expected to follow all requirements outlined by the student chapter while attending any student chapter events. Alumni should also respectfully honor any requests from the chapter or official fraternity volunteers to not attend any chapter events. Lastly, the volunteers of Alpha Kappa Psi represent the leadership and longevity of the organization. Alpha Kappa Psi volunteers are held to a higher standard than a general alumni member, as they are entrusted with the delivery of programming and development of members and leaders within the organization. Participation as an active volunteer is contingent on meeting all requirements in the Code of Conduct. Volunteers of Alpha Kappa Psi, in addition to adhering to the conduct already said, are further expected to faithfully, properly, and fully execute the duties of their position and the directives from fraternity leadership. Volunteers should also avoid using their fraternity position to seek personal, professional, or financial gain. This means that volunteers are expected to maintain professional relationships and distances with members they are advising and provide objective guidance. While executing official duties or during fraternity events, volunteers should not inappropriately use their access to members or guests for their advantage. They should maintain confidentiality of personal information where appropriate, subject to local, state, and federal laws, and refrain from engaging in any activity that might create a conflict of interest for the volunteer or the fraternity. They should also use the fraternity's fiscal resources judiciously and not for personal gain or frivolous expenditures. Volunteers will not use fraternity funds to promote themselves or others in elections or purposes disconnected from fraternity business, and they should promptly report any illegal conduct to the Judiciary Committee or the fraternity staff. If a chapter or member is investigated for violations of any kind by an outside body, such as a school, university department, or law enforcement agency, it must be reported to fraternity staff within 72 hours. For any additional questions, please visit the MyAKPsi community or contact your chapter educational resource coordinator on staff. For assistance in determining the coordinator for your region, please visit akpsi.org/staff. Thank you for listening to this program. If you have ideas for future webinar or e-learning topics or suggestions to improve this program, please email education@akpsi.org.